In 2009, Barack Obama walked into the White House with one non-negotiable demand. His security team told him he had to give up his personal phone. He refused. The one thing the most powerful man on earth would not let go of was his BlackBerry. At that moment, BlackBerry was not just a phone. It was a symbol of power, security, and ambition. Wall Street bankers slept with it under their pillows. Pentagon officials used it to protect classified communications. The company was worth over $80 billion. 10 years later, BlackBerry quietly announced it would never make another phone again. This is a story of how the most powerful phone company in the world completely destroyed itself. The year was 1984. In the quiet university town of Waterloo, Canada, a young engineering student named Mike Lazaridis had an idea that seemed almost impossible at the time. What if people could send emails while walking down the street? He founded Research in Motion, RIM, in a small office with very little money but an enormous amount of ambition. For 15 years, the company quietly built wireless technology that nobody else was building. Then in 1999, they launched the BlackBerry. It had a tiny QWERTY keyboard, a secure email system, and a battery that lasted for days. Business professionals had never seen anything like it. You could read your emails on the subway, reply to your boss from the airport, and close a deal before you even reached the office. People became so obsessed with it that they gave it a nickname, CrackBerry. Because once you started using it, you simply could not stop. By the mid-2000s, BlackBerry was everywhere. Lawyers used it in courtrooms. Doctors used it in hospitals. Presidents used it in the Oval Office. The phone was so secure that the governments of India, Saudi Arabia, and UAE threatened to ban it, because even they could not read the encrypted messages. Think about that for a moment. Governments wanted to ban a phone because it was too secure. That was the level of trust BlackBerry had built. The two founders, Mike Lazaridis and co-CEO Jim Balsillie, were celebrated as geniuses. The company was growing faster than almost any other technology firm in the world. Their stock price kept climbing. Their profits kept rising. Their market share kept expanding. In 2007, BlackBerry had over 20% of the entire global smartphone market. 50 million people around the world carried one in their pocket. The company felt completely unstoppable. January 9th, 2007, San Francisco. Steve Jobs walked onto a stage in his signature black turtleneck and said 4 words that would change everything. "We are reinventing the phone." The crowd went wild. The iPhone had arrived. A beautiful glass screen, no physical keyboard. A device that was a phone, a camera, a music player, and a full internet browser, all in one. Mike Lazaridis watched the announcement. He was not worried. He actually laughed. "A touchscreen with no keyboard?" he reportedly said. "It will never work for serious business users. You cannot type properly without physical keys." That single moment of arrogance would cost him everything, because Lazaridis was thinking about his existing customers, the suits, the bankers, the executives. He was not thinking about everyone else. He did not understand that the iPhone was not just for business. It was for life. It was for teenagers, parents, artists, travelers, and dreamers. Then in 2008, Apple launched the App Store. Suddenly, there were thousands of applications for everything imaginable. BlackBerry's App Store, by comparison, was a ghost town. Young people chose iPhone. Then their parents chose iPhone. Then even the executives who once swore by their BlackBerry started switching, one by one, then in waves. RIM kept releasing new BlackBerry models, but they all looked the same. Same keyboard, same small screen, same old thinking. The world was moving forward and BlackBerry was standing perfectly still. By 2010, the numbers were terrifying. Market share was collapsing quarter by quarter. Thousands of employees were being laid off. The stock price, which had once touched $148, began falling so fast that investors could barely watch. In a last desperate move, RIM spent years building an entirely new operating system, BlackBerry 10. They believed it would save the company. They launched it in 2013 with enormous fanfare. But developers had no interest in building apps for a dying platform. Consumers had no reason to switch back. The moment had already passed. In September 2016, the company made the announcement that nobody could quite believe. BlackBerry would stop making its own phones. Forever, the hardware business was dead. The company that had once been worth $80 billion now had a stock price you could count on two hands. Over 40,000 people had lost their jobs. An entire era of technology had simply ended. So what exactly went wrong? BlackBerry did not fail because they made a bad product. They failed because they fell in love with the product they already had. They were so proud of their keyboard, their security, their enterprise customers, that they could not imagine a world where those things were no longer enough. They confused being the best at what they did with being safe from what was coming. Steve Jobs did not beat BlackBerry by making a better BlackBerry. He beat them by making something entirely different, and then letting the world decide which one it preferred. The lesson for every business, every entrepreneur, every person building something today is this: your greatest strength can become your greatest weakness the moment the world changes around you. The companies that survive are not the ones who protect what they have. They are the ones who are willing to destroy what they have in order to build what comes next. BlackBerry never learned that lesson. And that is exactly why you're watching this video on an iPhone, not a BlackBerry.